What's up, beautiful people? Padres lose the series to the Diamondbacks, 2-3. Going to be recapping the final two games since we did have a video recapping that really good game of the walkout. Going to be a really quick video. Not a lot to talk about in these losses, but there is some stuff to talk about. Jackson Merrill is an all-star. We'll look at that. A little bit of the ceased regression of late in the past month. Profar the Pro continues to rake. Hard to even say anything bad about the guy. Anuel de Los Santos and some bullpen problems, some Mike Schilt questionable decisions that we're going to look at that I found over the course of the series. And then we'll go ahead and start looking at the next series, obviously today being the off day, tomorrow again back at home for 2 games against the Seattle Mariners. Let's do this. I know I've said it for 20 plus years, but I got a feeling this is the year. God, Tatis is such a sexy guy. Keep the faith, baby.
1 year soon, the baseball gods will smile on the San Diego Padres, and we will have a parade.
Stay vibrant, Friar Faithful.
And now your handsome host, Beto Diaz on Friar Field Talk.
So jumping right back into it, Padres do drop 2 out of 3 to Arizona. Really frustrating series from our boys. A lot of opportunities you felt like to win almost every single game. Obviously, that game 2 was a real heartbreaker, leaving runners on the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th. Obviously, game 3 as well went to the 7th inning. Some say Cease, Cease is washed, Cease is doing this, but he was actually pitching a really good game. Had only allowed 1 run through almost 7. With 2 outs in the 7th inning, he allowed a 2-run home run to Eugenio Suarez after a really frustrating at bat against Geraldo Perdomo. Really frustrating stuff. But let's go ahead and look at the series here a little bit. Going to just be looking at the final 2 games because I did recap the really good game in game 1. Padres lose game 2 to the Diamondbacks 7-5. One of the rare games where the Padres actually score first. Manny bloops a single to left field, scores 1 to make us 1-0. Unfortunately, Waldron kept getting into too many high pitch counts. A lot of 3-2, a lot of 3-1s. Just not finding a lot of success when you do that. Seems to be becoming a little bit of a trend for him, so let's hope that he can bounce back a little bit. All in all, still pitched a good enough game, kept us competitive, which I love to see from the Padres pitching. But he does run into some problems. We go down 4-1. Just had a bad feel from the start. Jurickson Profar does give us some hope, though. He lines a double down the left field line with 2 outs and a 1-1 count. Jurickson Profar is the absolute man, and I feel like he is our star player. The way that things are going, he is the man. Obviously, he's the starting left fielder in the All-Star game for a fucking reason. He's been really good. Keeps us competitive in almost every game he plays. That ropes us double down the line to make it 4-2. Cronenworth follows it with a single to make it 4-3. Hassan Kim even comes up in a big situation. Now, this is a situation I did want to talk about a little bit because it might go a little bit unnoticed. Obviously, right here, you see 0-2 count with 2 outs, runner on third. Luckily, Kim takes a breaking ball that does not break, sends it to left field, hops towards the wall. 1 run scores, and Kim goes into second with a double. At the time, was a really big hit. Obviously, there, bottom of the 8th, bottom of the lineup, getting a run in is huge, ties the game up. But before this, this is where my Mike Schilt analysis comes in for everybody. Before this, I forget who it was that led off with the double. I'm going to go ahead and check because that way I don't want to give you guys misinformation. I think it was Solano. Yeah, Solano leads off with the double up to deep right center. 1 hops the wall. Tyler Wade pinch runs for him. But a really questionable decision with a runner with down 1 with nobody out and a leadoff double. Jackson Merrill comes up. I know Merrill has been producing. I know he's an all-star. I know he's been really good. But not having him bunt over with the bottom of the lineup is really suspect. Peralta comes up right after him, and he fails. Sorry, it wasn't Peralta, but it was Bryce Johnson. So Merrill comes up, and he strikes out to make it 1 out with the runner on second. Then following him was Bryce Johnson, who had defensively changed for Peralta in the game. That's why I got mixed up. But knowing you have Merrill up there, and knowing if he fails to move the runner over to third, with Bryce Johnson on deck, a little bit of a questionable decision for me. I think in 1-run games against divisional rivals like the Diamondbacks, you got to play small ball. And it's like next man up. We've seen Profar bunt. We've seen Cronenworth bunt. We've seen Arraez bunt. We see everyone bunting when it comes to small ball situations. You're down one. You have a leadoff double. Merrill has to be squaring there. Unless he's Barry Bonds, which he isn't, y'all, yet. He needs to bunt the guy over. Bryce Johnson then comes up and actually hits a 5-ball to deep center, which would have scored the run. Luckily, we do get bailed out by Kim, but this is just one situation that I've seen where Schilt has made some really questionable decisions. I definitely would have had Merrill bunt there, get that fly ball from Johnson, tie the game. Obviously, we lucked out with the Kim double down the line, but Kim has been really, really shaky. He's only batting the 228. Not the Kim we've seen from last year. So an interesting decision there from Schilt, amongst many more in this game, actually. But it's one that I really wanted to highlight. Small ball situational play against division rivals needs to be better. And I know this is kind of a nitpick, but I don't really think it is. I think in these situations, we need to play small ball to win games. That's just the way shit goes, especially in tight games against division rivals. Anyways, that's the situation. 4-4. And another really, really stupid decision for Mike Schilt comes in the bottom of the 10th. Morejon and Estrada come in right after Matsui and absolutely do amazing. An interesting decision once again with Kolek available, who I had mentioned in one of my last videos. In his last 18 games has a sub 0.5 ERA and a sub 0.8 whip. An interesting decision in bringing in Wandy Peralta with the Ghost Phantom Manfred Munner at second. Peralta, if y'all don't know, is a contact pitcher. He gets his out by getting balls in play. So what kind of a decision is it to bring in a pitcher that is a contact pitcher with a runner on second? Clearly, all that you need to do to score a runner on second is make contact with the first guy, either a bunt or a fly ball that gets the runner over to third, and the run scores. Obviously, that didn't happen in this game. Peralta walks the guy and allows 2 hits, ends up allowing 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Just a really interesting decision to put in Wandy there, who has been shaky, has not looked very good, extremely inconsistent, on a horrible contract, by the way, for 4 years. Just a really, really dumb decision in my head. Schilt needs to be better with his bullpen management, and this was a very, very big example of that. Christian Walker is the one that burns us. He gets a single up the middle. McCarthy then grounds out to a force out to make it another run. But Kolek comes in, of course, after Peralta shits the fucking bed. Doesn't allow a fucking hit or a walk, strikes out 1, and gets out of the inning. So if the guy was available and he's been so consistent, why are we pitching Wandy Peralta, a contact pitcher, with a runner on second base? So that's 2 decisions there in one game from Schilt that I thought was really, really fucking stupid and needs to be better for division rival play. Just very infuriating, especially in a 2-run loss like this. What really does sting here is Solano gets us started in the bottom of the 10th with a double that scores 1. We load the bases. Unfortunately, it's at the bottom of the lineup. We had the bases loaded with nobody out in a 7-5 game with Bryce Johnson up. He strikes out. Ha-Seong Kim follows him, and he also strikes out. And then Higashioka, who's been on a really good tear, obviously, with the long ball, but you didn't expect him to get a big knock in that situation with 2 outs. Padres lose this game 7-5. Pretty bad, infuriating loss, that one we can look back into the future with the decisions that Schilt made and the lack of hits with runners in scoring position throughout the game. Obviously, we did come back and tie it in the 7th and the 8th, but we had a bunch of donuts up until the 7th inning. So a really sad, shitty game. Sorry the tone of this video isn't greater at best, but, 2 really frustrating games from our boys, and I'm going to tell it how it is. Really, really frustrating series loss. Padres lose this game 9-1 to the Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll, I think I like the second or third pitch, sends a home run to right field. He hadn't hit a home run in like 150 fucking days. But of course, because Dylan Cease is pitching to him, a high fastball, high home run percentage pitcher lately, allows one to right field. We go down 1-1. Profar does respond, though. He hits a home run of his own to right field to make it a 1-1 game. And unfortunately became a fucking pitcher's duel, which for us was really bad because the Diamondbacks had Ryan fucking Nelson, a guy that has not shown very much good shit. We could not hit him for whatever fucking reason. It was just like bam, 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 both ways. In the 7th inning here, A really, really frustrating home run. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I don't know if I'm the only one, you guys, but when I was watching this game, I just felt something was coming for like a while. Like Cease was pitching good. He had 3 straight Ks in the 4th inning. He looked pretty good. He settled down after that Corbin Carroll home run in the 1st inning, the very first at bat. Previous Gerardo Perdomo needs to be put on a hit list because he had a 11 pitch at bat the first time he batted, and then a 9 pitch at bat, which led to a walk, which led to Cease throwing way more pitches than he needed to. Does get walked in this at bat right before Suarez. 1-1 count at 100 pitches. Felt like, man, just get this last out, get out of the inning. We have a good chance to win this. And Cease allows a home run to left to Eugenio Suarez. Really just gets over the wall. Just a heartbreaking hit. The floodgates do open, and Schilt waves the white flag by bringing in Davis and Enyel de los Santos, 2 guys that clearly do not deserve to be on a major league roster at the moment. Davis, I don't blame so much. He's definitely the filler stopper guy that you just throw in when you're fucking down by a bunch of runs. But the moment I saw Davis come into the game, I knew this was a white flag game for Schilt. But De Los Santos, man, I feel really shitty because I really repped him high at the beginning of the year. He was spotting some really good fastballs and some good sliders on the outside part of the plate. His control was really good. But unfortunately, in the last month or so, the guy cannot stop allowing hits and home runs. He really shits the bed and allows 5 more runs to come in. Just a brutal scene for Enyel de los Santos. Padres lose this game 9-1. Nothing good but that Profar home run and the pitching from Cease. If you really look at it as a whole, he was 1 out away from going 7 innings and only allowing 1 run. Padres lose this game. They lose the series to Arizona. Could be way better, you guys, but could be way worse. We could have swept. We could have lost that first game, which was really close against Manny Machado. But we ended up picking up the dub there with that big walk-off from him. On deck, we have the Mariners, obviously off day today, but we'll be playing Seattle 2 games only. On the bump for them, unfortunately, we get their 2 best pitchers. We get Logan Gilbert for the Mariners, who's spotting a 5-5 record with a 2.91 ERA. Has been really, really good. Going to be a really, really tough game. It doesn't help that we have Adam Major on the bump for us. He's spotting a 1-2 record with a 7.52 ERA. Going to be a really tough game. Seattle's been playing pretty good baseball. I think they're either 9 or 8 games over 500 right now. So going to be a very tough game 1. And game 2 doesn't get much better. Well, maybe it does a little bit. They got Bryce Miller on the bump for them. He's spotting a 6-7 record with a 3.84 ERA. He's going against Randy Vasquez. Vasquez is 2-4, but really should be 3-4 because he got pulled from that Boston game when we were up big. Has a 4.66 record. Has looked pretty good in his last 3 starts, maybe even 4 starts, besides that Philadelphia game. Our best chance to probably win a game is that Vasquez game. I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't expect much from Adam Major. However, Seattle has been having a really big problem scoring with runners in scoring position. Their 1 through 3 is practically all they really have right now. Julio Rodriguez went down with an injury. I'm not sure if he's going to be back in the foreseeable future, but if he is, has not been much of a threat himself. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Padres do. Really need to bounce back after really stinging, crappy, frustrating series loss to the Diamondbacks. But let's try and keep faith. Let's try and keep it up. I know it's kind of hard after a really shitty series. Felt like we were really starting to click on all cylinders. Kind of a bit of a setback with a really tough loss with a close rival in Arizona. We'll see what we do against Seattle. That's game 2. Game 1 starts tomorrow, Tuesday at 6:40. No game today, obviously. That's why I hopped on here. But hope to see a lot of you beautiful people at Petco Park. I'm going to the game on Tuesday, so if you see me, give me a high five. But other than that, stay beautiful, stay vibrant. Let's keep the vibes up. Let's try and get this series against Seattle, get us back on track, and have the off day, and finish off the home series against the Braves before the All-Star game. I'll see you all probably again on Thursday, unless we have a really crazy game on Tuesday or Wednesday. Stay beautiful, stay vibrant. Go Padres, baby.